I got to go to Isabel Brody because I keep hearing this man that's coming through saying I'm the father, and he's telling me I have to come over there.
It could be my husband.
So, sir, your father departed?
Yes.
Okay. So, no, that's going to be his way of acknowledging that he's here and that he's coming through. And this is crazy because he was begging me to come through right now because, first of all, your father tells me you were not expecting to hear from him. And second of all, your father says to me that he left with unsaid terms here in this world when he passed. So did you not get to say goodbye to him?
No.
Because your father says to me, he goes, I'm the father, I got to come through. And he was telling me, I'm sorry when I'm connecting with him.
Wow.
And your father says to me, Matt, he goes, I'm surprised my son will even tell you that I'm his dad. He says, because he's upset with me. And the one thing that your father says to me is that he's stepping forward today, not to make excuses, but to ask you for your forgiveness.
He has my forgiveness.
Because your father says to me that you were the one that had to step forward and fill the shoes and take care of the family here in this world. He says, and Matt, he goes, the one thing that I want to let my son know is that I'm sorry for not being supportive of him the way that I should have been. Do you understand that?
I do.
Your father says to me that he's been waiting so long to deliver this message. Because although you were upset with what happened with your dad, and although you let things go, your dad says to me that you showed that you're a better man than me. He says you stepped forward, you took care of the family, you took care of everybody that needed you, and your dad wants to say that he's sorry because that was his job and not yours. Your father's also talking about back when you were younger. He showed me you working from a young age. So did you start working right from when you were like 16 or 17?
Earlier, yeah.
Earlier?
Yeah.
No wonder why, because your father's showing me like you as a little boy and that you had to go right to work. And your father says to me like that, not only did he work, but he tells me you gave your money to the family. Is that true?
Yes.
So you went to work at what age, sir?
7.
7 years old?
Yeah.
This is the reason why sometimes I can't believe what I hear and what I'm saying is that I'm seeing you as just a boy working, and your father says, you know, he used to have to work and he used to give his money to take care of the rest of the family.
I would get $2 a day plus room and board.
Your father says to me that through all of the things that you did, through all the hardships that you went through, because life was never easy. Your dad is showing me visions of when you were growing up, and he's showing me that you never had new things. You never had nice things. You had to wear, he's talking about like getting clothes from other family members and wearing other family members' clothes. Is that true?
True.
And your father says to me, you know, my son never got to be a child. My son always had to take life, and he goes, life was always serious for you. He says, you missed out on most of your childhood because you were forced to do grown-up things. And you were forced to mature in a deep way and to do things that, you know, were not your responsibility.
True.
Your dad says to me that he's sorry for that. Because sometimes, you know, your loved ones don't realize things here in this world. There's things that can get in the way. Maybe it's because of the fact that they were, your father's making me laugh. He's going, Matt, you're blowing his mind right now because he's a skeptic. He didn't believe in this shit. He's saying, oh, these psychics and mediums, they Google things, they look things up. They research you before you came. Because your father's ratting you out right now. And I also got to tell you that your name wasn't on the ticket. So there's no way that I could go and tell you this because your father tells me you weren't supposed to be here today. You weren't supposed to be a part of this today.
Yeah.
Know that he knew that you were going to be there. And your father thinks this is funny. He's going, you need to shock him, Matt. You got to tell him because that's the only way he's going to believe. He's like, if you tell him these things, he says, because these are stories from your childhood that you don't share with anybody, that you don't like to talk about and that nobody knows about you. But your father says to me that your whole life you've been such a hard worker. And your father says to me that you've worked for other people, for your family, but you've also worked for everything that you have for today. And your dad says, I'm proud of you, but you need to be proud of yourself. Oh. Because your dad tells me that from when you were younger, you're always so hard on yourself and you're always so tough on yourself. He says, and your dad wants you to be able to smile and to enjoy the life that you have now because you spent so many years working, you've spent so many years taking care of everybody else that your dad wants you to take this opportunity to enjoy this time. Because your father tells me that you never want anything, sir. He tells me that you don't want to travel, you don't want to go different places. He says that you're content with just with where you are and what you have. Is that correct?
True.
So your dad says, listen, when you have opportunities to travel and to go different places and to enjoy time with your family, go. And your dad also wants to thank you for the way that you took care of your mom, because he's bringing that up. Now, I'm also hearing the name, there's Bob or Robert. Who's that?
My uncle,
So,
Bobby.
and he passed.
Yes.
So know that he's there with your father, because your dad's acknowledging that. And oh, I keep smelling all the smoke. There were smokers here in this world, because I have all the smoke over here when I'm connecting with them.
Wow.
And your father's also telling me now, I don't understand this. Did he almost lose his leg?
I don't remember.
What's the connection? Did he have diabetes, or what's the connection with the leg almost being lost? I have this man that's here that's telling me that they were threatening to take both his legs off, and I don't know what that means.
I don't, yeah.
All right, this is going to sound crazy too, that this man's still talking to me. And this isn't something, this is like so rare. But was there someone in your family that had gangrene?
Yes.
Who was it? George. Okay.
So
Yes.
that's going to be what he's talking about. He's telling me he had gangrene in his leg
Yes.
because it affected the whole thing. So know that he's on the other side. So that was your grandfather?
Stepdad.
Oh, listen, it doesn't matter if it's stepdad or whatever. So
Yeah.
they're still all connected to you. And who would have thought that this man would have been the spirit hog today? That all your people, the one who doesn't believe, all your people are here looking to hear from their loved ones, and all your family is here on the other side.
That is quite true. That's quite true, Matt. Because he is a skeptical. He's like, I don't believe in this, but
But yeah, your father's here.
he says it's pretty scary.
Listen, you can't be afraid of
I'm
me.
not
You can't
afraid. Not afraid. It's the thought that everything that you're saying is 100%.
Well, listen, I got to let you know one thing. That, this is the reason why souls come through. And people say to me, I love the skeptical ones. I love when someone like you comes, because it takes a lot of guts to be here. And whether you believe or you don't believe, I just ask that you're open. And your father says to me that he's been waiting so long to deliver this message to you, because so many times you think that your dad was ungrateful, or that, he was unappreciative and didn't see the things that you did, but you still forgave him, and you still, accepted him as your father, even though he made mistakes, and even though he didn't take the responsibility that he should have. But he's here today to let you know, because when souls go to the other side, they go through a life review. They can see everything that they did that they could have done differently, the things that they could have changed, and the things that they could have done better. And your father says to me when I'm connecting that he wants to let you know thank you from the bottom of his heart, that he does watch over you every day, that he wants you to know that he is okay. And one other thing, he says to me, you should buy the new truck. Did you just shit your pants?
Just about.
So why is he telling me that?
I'm just trying to consolidate bills.
He says to me, you're looking at trucks. I see you know what I see? Your father's showing me. Listen, I love being a medium because they show me what you do. And your father's showing me you got the auto trader. You know the auto trader?
Yeah.
So your father says,
I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace, looking for a new truck.
so no, it's his way of acknowledging that he sees that. Letting you know, because he showed me the auto trader in front of me, letting me know that it's his way of acknowledging, buy the truck. He says, buy the truck, you deserve it. He says, stop squandering your money. Buy the truck. He says, you already paid. Your father's got a personality. He goes, tell him he's already paid $19 to see a psychic medium, and he's belly aching over that. So tell him to just buy the truck. He says, because before this, he was saying, why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your money? Why are you paying $19 to see this shit? So your father goes, you already wasted $19 to hear a message from me. He goes, so now go buy the truck.
I'll buy the truck.
Listen, and I gotta tell you as well, you also, sir, I could be with this man all day. You also have a dog that's with you that passed.
Yes.
A dog.
That dog was like your baby, because your father's telling me he's got your dog on the other side.
That's Mitzi.
So no, he's saying to me, he goes, this was his baby. He goes, they did everything together, he's telling me. And that was so hard. He goes, you know, Matt, he goes, my son's not going to cry over me, but he's going to cry if you bring up the dog. He says, because that was like his child.
They ate ice cream together, one spoonful for the dog, one for him.
He tells me that dog had everything. You used to share your coffee with the dog, like whatever it is that you were drinking and eating, the dog would have.
Yeah.
So your father says, know that they're at peace. And wait a minute, did you try to give the dog beer?
Yeah.
Big, oh, are you kidding me? Your father showed me you giving the dog like sips of your beer. He goes, they used to sit outside, Matt. He goes, and they used to get drunk with one another. Your father's in heaven, and he says that you were feeling pretty good, and so was the dog.
Yeah.
He says, so know that the way that he's repaying you is that he's taking care of that dog on the other side. He wants you to know that baby that you lost, that dog is a guardian angel that watches over you every single day, that is with you, that is safe and at peace. And your dad says, I'm so happy that I got to deliver this message to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really hope that this helped you today. So wait a minute, before you let you go, so you were still a skeptic?
No, I'm not a skeptic.